Most of these scooters were cheaper when we first released this article several years ago, so don't be surprised if you have to spend a little more than we originally promised for a last-mile commuter scooter. In this video we will look at some of the best cheap electric scooters under $500 on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description box below. Number 1. Hiboy S2 Pro Electric Scooter. The Hiboy S2 Pro is the latest and greatest scooter from this brand, which is at least 3 generations into the product line. It is overall well built, but its sturdiness makes it one of the heaviest scooters we reviewed at 36.3 pounds. It is comfortable to ride because of a padded standing deck and handlebars that accommodate riders of almost any height. The scooter's solid 10-inch honeycomb wheels don't need to be air inflated, which is great if you fear maintenance but not so great if you need to ride on a rough sidewalk. Thankfully, the Hiboy S2 Pro has a shock absorber built into the rear, so you have some basic suspension to cushion bumps, but it's still rough. One of the best qualities of this scooter is its high max speed of 19 miles per hour. When you pair this with its respectable battery life, you can get decently far off a single battery charge. The 500-watt motor is stronger than other scooters in the same price range, but this doesn't translate to any extra acceleration or torque because the scooter's frame is heavier as well. The scooter has an LED dashboard that displays basic information such as your current speed, rider mode, and battery level. The Hiboy S2 supplements this dashboard with the Hiboy app for Android and iOS. This app is the only way to cycle between the beginner, intermediate, and advanced rider modes, which have different max speeds. It is also used to toggle the headlights, check the battery power, and toggle the cruise control. There is even a system self-check so you can anticipate maintenance that needs to be done over time. The Hiboy S2 Pro packs a dual braking system that makes braking fast and consistent. It combines a manual disc brake with the ABS regenerative anti-lock braking, which also charges up the battery as you ride your brakes. Number 2. Gotrax XR Elite Electric Scooter. The Gotrax XR Elite is a performance-focused scooter that offers great speed and solid battery life at the cost of a few luxury features. The main reason you'll be interested in this scooter is its 300-watt motor, which gives it significantly more pep than previous gen scooters that run on 250 watts. The scooter runs in 2 gears. This electric scooter obviously does not have a transmission. Gear 1 is Eco mode, which caps out at 10 miles per hour and saves power for longer rides. Gear 2 caps out at 15.5 miles per hour and is ideal for short commutes. The XR Elite has two 8.5-inch air-filled tires that provide some light shock absorption, but this scooter is definitely not meant for off-roading. The tires will need to be replaced after a few years of riding, so if you are intimidated by maintenance, then you may want to consider a scooter with solid rubber tires instead. The XR Elite uses both an electric ABS brake in the front and a manual disc brake in the rear to provide some very quick braking. The electric brake is very sensitive, though, so it does take some getting used to. They are activated by a brake lever and they use regenerative braking to send power back to the battery. The battery life is another strong point of the scooter, with Gotrax advertising a max 18.6 miles of travel off of one charge. In reality, this figure will vary a lot based on road conditions, rider weight, and weather. It charges in about 4 to 6 hours and you can easily track the remaining charge with the onboard LED display panel. The XR Elite is basic front and rear LEDs and lots of reflective stickers to help with visibility, but you should probably invest in an additional light source if you wish to ride safely at night. And while we're on the subject, I would like to point out that the power button, which you single press to turn on the lights and hold for 5 seconds to change gears, is placed so awkwardly that you have to pull over to turn them on. It is certainly an odd choice. Number 3. Segway Ninebot ES2 Scooter. Robotics company Ninebot is an absolute juggernaut when it comes to personal transportation devices. Not only does Ninebot own the Segway brand, but they also provide their electric motors to numerous competitors. You'll even find their hardware in the Xiaomi M365, Another e-scooter reviewed on this list. Most of Ninebot's scooters are well outside of the target budget of this roundup, but their Segway Ninebot kick scooter ES2 is pretty much in the ballpark. It forgoes some premium features but makes up for it with pure performance. The ES2 uses a front shock absorber to make for a smooth ride when crossing rough terrain. This e-scooter has solid rubber tires, which are maintenance-free though typically less shock-absorbing. The front shock pad helps make up for this. The front tire is 8 inches and the rear tire is 7.5 inches. The ES2 has zippier acceleration than we saw from other scooters because of its 300-watt motor. If you want the max performance, you'll want to put the scooter into sport mode, which sacrifices some of its 60-minute battery life for improved acceleration. It won't go faster than 15.5 miles per hour in either sport or normal mode, but if you want it to go slower you can set a manual limit in beginner mode by setting it up through the app. Segway does make an expansion battery, which increases the max speed to 18.6 miles per hour. It also, unfortunately, breaks the bank. If performance is important enough for you to consider that, though, you'll also want to be aware of the max payload, max rider weight, which is 220 pounds. Unfortunately, that is my exact weight. The more you weigh, the harder the motor has to work regardless of the size of its battery. There's simply no cheating the laws of physics. This scooter has a decent battery life, though, allowing you to get an average 15 miles of travel distance from one charge in normal mode. The battery pack improves the max travel distance to 28 miles. The ES2 has an electric ABS brake on its front wheel that uses regenerative braking to convert kinetic energy back into charge for the battery. This helps you to get even more ride time if you are riding downhill. Number 4. Razer EcoSmart Metro Electric Scooter. Some may write off the EcoSmart Metro preemptively because it is made by Razer, the same company that kick-started the push scooter fad of the 90s. Well, Razer actually makes many high-quality e-scooters, and the EcoSmart Metro should be at the top of your list if you are looking for an inexpensive scooter with a seat. The cushioned seat post is the standout feature of the EcoSmart Metro, as it makes longer rides much more comfortable. The seat post also houses a detachable rear fender and luggage rack. The rack is great for carrying a few school books or a bag of groceries. The wide footpad makes it easy to sit however you find most comfortable. Because the EcoSmart Metro has tall 16-inch pneumatic tires and positions the driver facing forward, it almost looks more like a compact e-bike than an e-scooter. However, its lack of pedals and slower acceleration really make it apparent that this is still a scooter when you ride it. Even with a stronger 500-watt motor, the EcoSmart Metro is sluggish to accelerate because its frame is weighed down by large lead-acid batteries. It does reach an impressive 18 miles per hour top speed, but it takes a few seconds to get there and struggles to climb hills just like a smaller scooter would. Its air-filled tires make for a decently smooth ride, but a shock absorber on the seat post would be a very nice upgrade. The scooter has a variable speed throttle control, which makes it easy to maintain a slower speed while you navigate a crowd. Its rear disc brake is connected to a cable lever on the handlebar, but no front brake. Consequentially, the EcoSmart Metro won't stop as quick as scooters with 2 brakes. This scooter's power switch is found under the footpad near the batteries. It only has a primitive battery status indicator, which simply lights up when you need a charge. The battery is good for around 40 minutes of go time, which is enough for a couple of short rides. The biggest shortcoming of this scooter is that it charges back up incredibly slowly. Number 5. Jetson Eris Folding Electric Scooter. Though it bears many similarities to more popular and more aggressively priced scooters, the Jetson Eris is still a viable micro-mobility device. The Jetson Eris is made from aerospace-grade aluminium and feels incredibly durable. It folds up in a matter of seconds, making it easy to take up the stairs or on the subway. It is also loaded with all of the accessories that you would want for an urban commute. The front post houses a bright LED headlight, and there is a small LED tail light that flashes red for better nighttime visibility. There is also an LED strip of underglow which illuminates the ground beneath you. These can be turned on by short pressing the power button once you've turned the scooter on with a long press. It has a thumb throttle for acceleration on the right and a thumb throttle for braking on the left. The handlebars also house an LED display that shows your current speed, remaining battery charge. It will also briefly flash what speed setting you are in when you toggle through them. This screen is necessary as there is no app compatibility for this scooter. There is a button above the left brake throttle that can be used to cycle through different speed settings. You can set the max speed to 15, 11, 6, or 0 miles per hour. I have no idea why they added a neutral gear to these settings, but you'll likely want to leave it P3, the fastest setting, for most rides. The two benefits of the lower max speed settings are to teach new riders and to preserve battery for longer rides. For the most part, this isn't an issue either, as the Jetson Eris is capable of about 40 minutes of ride time. They claim you can get about 18 miles out of a single charge, but this is only assuming optimal ride conditions, which you aren't likely to experience.